No, I guess I was just curious, really. At the time, he was so. I guess it was just publicly accepted, that he would have wild parties. I don't think people knew to the extent of what was going on. But some of them happened, obviously, in the early, like in the year 2000 and the early 2000s. Did you ever hear about them before, obviously, like a couple years ago, where everybody knew that he threw white parties? Like back in the music industry days of yours, did you ever hear about him having parties or no?
Well, we used to hear about them having parties. And they party good. Biggie did a lot of concerts and a lot of shows. Uh, he was very, they worked the hell out of that Ready to Die album before it came out. I remember Suge and I used to go and support him. We went about 2 or 3 times. I can think of watching Biggie perform at the Platinum. If any of y'all remember was it the Palace? The Palace. We went and watched him at the Palace over there across from the Capitol building for many of y'all in LA. And they used to always perform there. And I think even a couple of times at the House of Blues, as I remember. So they were big on partying. Now, I know you asking about house parties and stuff like that. I don't remember of hearing about the mansion parties. That's something new. Where you had those big mansion parties where you would have a bunch of people just come to the mansion and party. When people used to good parties there, you have stuff like the El Rey Theater or places like that. It was usually after the Soul Trains Awards and stuff like that. Is when you get your parties. Then you had the after parties. That's where you would usually go to. And usually, I'll be honest, that was at a hotel. That guys getting the house, this written out houses stuff. Only people that was really renting out houses was when you get somebody to rent out their house for a video shoot or something like that. Were the only thing. All of this Airbnb or Airbnb and stuff like that, this world that y'all living into, it wasn't. We didn't have that coming up, and so, and you definitely didn't have people coming to your house where you laid your head at. That was a major no-no. So, yeah, Diddy and them partied apparently, but it would mainly be at clubs and stuff like that. And then you get a few girls or people to come back to the after party, as they were doing as the interview. Even when Biggie got killed, they were allegedly on their way to another producer's home that was in L.A. to go and party. I forget the particular producer it was. Um, and so everybody had party. Now, I'll be up here be hypocritical and be a liar to say, y'all done seen the pictures with Suge and Tupac. Suge had a studio, office that was pretty much built like a little mini suite at his hotel where him and Pac used to party all the time. And so while the engineer in there mixing or doing something, or the homies, they have them over there in the studio with, when I'm saying the homies, I'm talking about Pac homies like Big Sight or the Outlaws was in there rapping. Pac could be in the office with Suge, and they have some chicks, they'll, have them dropped off and they're partying there. I.e., where this picture came from, where, they were in there partying with these two young ladies, Suge and Pac. So they had parties like that. They would do stuff like that. People, and I always tell y'all about a situation with at Suge House in Vegas. So a spot like that, that was like his playhouse. Y'all have to see that house. That was an entertainment home. Had 5 bedrooms, 1 story, big living room, big den, and a backyard, and a pool house with 2 rooms in the back pool house. Jacuzzi, pool. Everybody used to party there at the Vegas house. And that's when I told y'all stories when he used to fly chicks. He had our boy L.A. Reid, shout out, rest in peace, not L.A. Reid, L.A. Dre, producer that did a lot of stuff, worked with Too Short, and did songs with Michelet and all that. But anyway, he's no longer with us, good friend of mine. He's kind of a relative. He had married one of my mother's cousins, was married to her. But anyway, he used to go to Magic City because he was out there in L.A. with, Atlanta with Too Short and fly a bunch of chicks from Magic City. I mean, it was like 10 or 15 of them that flew out there, and a couple of girls from Houston and stuff like that. And they would fly and come to the house and, you know, be kind of paid for whatever, got a trip, and they'd be out there. And so niggas had, I guess you would call those freak off parties back then. So, Death Row had them. But one thing Suge Knight ain't did, and I can tell you at his parties, it might have been some EPOs floating around there, but ain't nobody saw it, ain't nobody knew. The most that you might have shared with somebody was some crystal and some weed or something like that. It wasn't nothing about no EPOs handed out on trays and trying to get that, because most of the chicks that were there were willing participants or knew what they were there for. And so there were freak off parties, done during our time at Death Row and stuff like that. But it wasn't no underage people. It definitely wasn't no man on man, because we was all stingy anyway, so we didn't want to have nobody watching them get down anyway. So everybody had their own little room or little spot that they would take them to. So we didn't have no shit like that going on. And did I say underage? I'll say it again if I didn't. Definitely wasn't no underage people there. Well, was Danny Boy there? I don't know. I don't remember if Danny Boy was at any of those parties. But other than that, yeah, that would be what was going on at those type of parties during the Death Row days. So, and I think that was more later when those type of parties that that we seeing online and stuff like that came about, John, to be honest.